Hi guys, welcome back to Saving Salvage and welcome back to the channel. Right, this is part 2 of my weird thing I've done this weekend. Basically I just had too much footage for the A3 3.2 V6 to release all in one video, so I just decided to do it in 2 parts. So I did say it was going to be Saturday, that I was going to release this part, but I just had a little bit more diagnosis to do. I'd rather just put a full video out explaining the issue rather than giving you a half video with not really knowing myself what's going on. So this is now the second part to the A3 3.2 V6 video, and unfortunately it's more bad news. Mustang's in the shop. There she is. Mustang's in the workshop. Right, and now just going to double check everything underneath. We've now got this boot replaced. If you can kind of see, I haven't got my torch on me, so you'll have to just make it out if you can. But that boot's replaced, and I've just checked around the car just to double check. Can't see anything else. It's going to fail on all CV boots are all good, front and rear. Exhaust is all good. No coil springs are broken. Tyres are all good. I would actually just bring it down midway and just check the wheel bearings, see if they're noisy. But from memory, when I last checked, they were all fine. So as long as they're good, we'll put it on the ground and I think we'll go out for a road test. And then, once we've gone for a road test and that's all good, we'll start looking at that. Right, welcome to the driver's seat of the A3. Well, I've just cleaned up all the interior because I had switches out and everything from when I was doing the lights. Put all this panel back together. So we are now going to go out for the first road test. I have driven this before when I did the engine, obviously, many months ago. So essentially it's not really a first drive. It should be fine, but it hasn't been out for, as I say, many months. So we'll take it for a drive, hopefully get all the rust off the brakes, ready for its MOT. So let's just turn the old thing down. Got heated seats in this as well, which is nice because it is a horribly wet day and it's cold. So hopefully this is going to drive well. Had the battery on charge all last night as well, so that's nicely charged up. Well, I'll wait for it to get up to temperature before I boot it. If you can hear that really annoying squeak in the boot, because I've left the battery cover off while I was charging the battery. But again, because it's Quattro, old school manual, it's got that nice mechanical feel, a bit like the S3. A little bit smoother than the S3, but it is newer. And obviously pickups nice and instant, being natural, as a 3 litre naturally aspirated, or 3.2 naturally aspirated. Oh, I'm not going to go that way. Now it's all warmed up, she's at 90 degrees. We'll do a little 3rd gear pull, see if you can hear it. She pulls nice, sounds good as well actually for a standard exhaust. I'm just wondering what that would sound like with a nice Miltech cat back. I thought it stalled then, it's so quiet. Oh, there's no coming. after getting back from a little road test, I have a suspicion that the Haldex might not be working, purely because when I was putting my foot down, I was getting a little bit of torque steer, and obviously with four-wheel drive, you shouldn't really be getting torque steer. So I've just got to board it back. I'm going to have a look at the fuse first. I've just put it on VAGCOM. There's no faults, which I didn't expect there to be for Haldex anyway. But I'll just check a fuse, and then I'm probably going to just do ESP off and do a couple of, see if I can do a burnout, so to speak. See if the front wheels light up. If they do, then obviously we know that the four-wheel drive isn't working, and then we'll have to go down the route of possibly a new Haldex controller. So I'm going to do that first. Just check the fuse. Which one it is. Don't know if it's in there. Might be in four-wheel drive. Number 9, 5 amp. Fuse 9 is bang in the middle of that cluster at the top. Right, fuse is good. So I'm just going to see if we can do a wheel spin, see if it grips. Right, I've just turned traction control off. We'll give it a go. Safe to say there was a lot of wheel spin there. Right, I've just got it back up in the air just to check the Haldex out, and as you can see, if I show you, the Haldex is here, look, as you can see with the big words Haldex written on it. So that's our Haldex controller, and that would appear to be at fault. So what I'm actually going to do is just whip it off, open it up, and just see what it looks like. The common problems with these is over time the seals fail and salt water from the road gets in and just corrodes all the circuit board. So just gonna have a whip it off. It's only 2 bolts, and have a look, and just have a look inside, see what's going on. Right, so basically I have ended up, there was like a weatherproof seal on the Haldex controller, and I have just dug it all out and got in, because I just wanted to have a look for myself to see the circuit board, because there are people out there that repair these. And I've took it all out. There was a little, don't get me wrong, water had got in a little bit around here, but there's nothing that I can see I can't see any welds or solder that's broken anywhere. There's no corrosion on any of the pins here, any pins here. Everything looks good. So if I'm honest, I don't think, unless it's faulty, not related to the weather, I don't think there's anything wrong with this circuit board. Bolts longer than I remember. That looks rank. Yeah, keep a light on it. Don't look good, does it? Doesn't look like it's been changed for a while. So I was actually going to do like a how to change the Haldex oil on this, but it's been an absolute arse, and I've had to do it a bit of an unorthodox way, so I haven't been able to show you. But there's the drain bung, and there is supposed to be, that bolt there is the fill bung, but that was absolutely sea-solid, rounded, and the access to it isn't great anyway. I just could not get it out, so I ended up pumping it all back through the drain bung. So I've got my Haldex controller all back into position. I've put some sealant all around it where I took the sealant out. It looks a bit messy at the minute because it's wet, but it's all sealed up nicely. It's all put back together, all with fresh oil in. So we're about to find out whether the Haldex oil change on its own has done the job or not. If not, then I'm not so sure. Right guys, a little bit of an update from when I last worked on the car back on Friday now. I did say this episode was going to be out on Saturday, but I decided to do a little bit more investigation to the rear drive not working before I put the video out, because I wasn't really I was unsure at the time of I filmed the last video. So I've done a little bit more digging and I've found that the prop shaft doesn't actually turn, but the prop shaft should always turn no matter what. As long as the front wheels are turning, the prop shaft should be turning. It is only the Haldex which decides whether to send power to the rear wheels or not. So the prop shaft should always turn, and it doesn't. So therefore we can narrow it down quite easily. There's obviously a problem with the front diff. So I don't know what it is at this stage. It looks like we're going to have to take the gearbox out. I can't remember whether I can just take the transfer box out without taking the gearbox out. I'm unsure, I can't remember. So at this point, I'm just going to assume I've got to take the gearbox out, because we're going to have to look into the transfer box, probably take it apart and find out why the prop shaft isn't turning. I'm going to assume at this point it's a worn spline for the prop shaft. But yeah, that was just a quick update. So not great. I mean, you can run these cars in two-wheel drive, it's not an issue, but if I'm going to do it, I'd rather just have it so the car's 100%. It's four-wheel drive, it's working as it should. So in the next video, annoyingly, we're going to have to take the gearbox out.